Cole Beasley showing up, and then the plus, with the run game. So
yeah, it was something in the system that they were missing. They were missing that because Cole Beasley got his yards and catches off a lot of second down, third down, basically like a wheel route. Is when you go, you fake like you're running a slant and you kick it back out. Tony hit him on that maybe 15 times at the stretch of the season. So yeah, I can understand that as well. I don't know. I didn't see the production that I wanted to see out of Terrence Williams. It's kind of hard to say the guy didn't try to get the ball. You can't really say that, but I don't know. He just didn't step up in those moments, and maybe it was the fact that he didn't have the opportunity to step up. Maybe you are right. He didn't have the opportunity to step up in these moments because at the end of the season, Cowboys were pretty much really just rolling. They were, up. They had leads. They had the running game. So yeah, but I don't know, man. We gonna definitely need him to step up this year. He's definitely gonna have to show me something, which is why I'm bringing the fact that I don't know his numbers. I don't really know. I don't know what his numbers are going to be like. That's why it's kind of hard for me to put them just two when it comes to the receiving core, because all you got is you know Dez gonna come. Dez has got $70 million. He's coming to work, which he's still underpaid if you ask me. But that's another conversation for another.
Yeah, that's not fantasy. That's reality, but golly, man, you got to pay that. That man should have broke the bank. I'm sorry. Y'all know I own every pair of Calvin Johnsons ever made. I think Calvin Johnson is by far one of the best players on the planet. But Dez is something else when it comes to that field, man. It's a whole nother animal with this guy. He the big thing here in Detroit, because we always have these comparisons. Small sidebar for y'all. It goes all the way back to the early 90s of Barry versus Emmett, what they can do different. Both were great running backs, you know what I mean, for their perspective. Only thing that I see with Dez lacks of Calvin is the actual going up and getting the ball. But if Dez get his hands on it, just like Calvin, he can make you miss. And Dez can go up and get it. He just doesn't have the vertical that Calvin has. I mean, Calvin has a freakish vertical. Because it's not saying like Dez can't go up and get it. Because Dez will go up and get it.
It's just a comparison to Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson makes everybody small.
Everybody. But, I mean, when you see... y'all know, for my Caucasian listeners, I'm finna drop the M-bomb. Shout out to Hulk Hogan. Calvin is a wide receiver. But the wide receiver is the position ran by the niggas. And that's what Dez is. He be on the sideline. That's why they don't like him. He on the sideline. He cussing people out. He doing his thing. And they want to criticize him for that. But you put that man between the hash. He's better single-handedly than the whole Philadelphia Eagles receiving core. We didn't even mention him. We made it a 3-man receiving core podcast because the Eagles have no clue. They got racist ass Riley Cooper still on the team. Oh my God, who?
Is this even worth mentioning that receiver?
It's pointless unless you're going to talk about the tight end Selleck. But Dez,
Selleck is legit.
Yeah, that's it. That's all they got. So it's, like you said, there's no point in mentioning them. But when you talking this man 88, I mean, what a great number to carry on after the playmaker. He actually has a lot of playmaker mentality in him. He deserved. I felt like they blackballed him for some stuff that went down in the past. He deserved to break the bank. If Sue can get all that money and not even lead the league in sacks. Sue has never led the league in sacks. Sue has never led the league in tackles for loss. Dez has been the best wideout since the day that bitch put on the Cowboys jersey.
I don't like the way you disrespected him like that, but you are respecting him in the same way. But yes, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. The day he's walked in the door. And the thing I don't like is, let's make a comparison. I'm not making a comparison as far as talent-wise because he's not there yet. Let's mind when you're thinking about passionate players? Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is probably one of the most passionate players to ever play the game, first of all. Ray Lewis' passion comes from an inner struggle. Everybody knows the situation that Ray Lewis went through. Ray Lewis, well, he's a leader, but he's a passionate leader. He's an outspoken leader. They don't see that in Dez because Dez is a receiver. And I'll give you a reason why I say that. Ray Lewis is a lot. He's known to hit people. He don't cry about much. He don't have much to cry about because he's smacking everybody else around. He don't have to cry to the referees for calls. That's not what he do. He just run out there and do his job, smack people. That's what he's supposed to do. Dez actually has to sell it sometimes because he's a receiver. He's a prima donna. As a receiver, he's supposed to be a prima donna.
I think that's a great comparison because I feel the same way. I hate Ray Lewis. Everybody know that. I can't stand Ray Lewis. But Dez and another player, and we can get back to fantasy, don't get the credit. They get a little mocked for being passionate. Like Ray Lewis, it seems like the league only embraces Ray Lewis as a passionate player because another player that reminds me of Dez, who gets in your face, is Phillip Rivers. Rivers, he plays like Phillip Rivers plays football as if he's in the backyard. You know how when you're in the backyard, you check your boy. Man, what are you doing? Phillip Rivers and Dez are just like that. But like you said, really in Dez's situation, he's a receiver. So you give him this stigma of he's a Madonna, he's crying. There's nothing wrong with him doing that because that was another cowboy. That was my reason I love T.O. When T.O. say, get your popcorn ready, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear my wide receiver on the sideline talking about how good the other defense is. I need you to be on there saying they play like shit. Let's dominate these boys. One of my favorite football quotes of all time. Randy Moss tells Dante Culpepper, that motherfucker can't check me. You throw it up, I'm going to yoke that bitch down. Stop throwing short. He can't check me. Next play, Dante Culpepper just chunked it up. Moss came back silent and said, what I tell you, I'm going to kill this bitch every play.
That's that Mossism.
That's what you need. That's what you need. I mean, that was a good little talk because I personally feel that Dallas is the number 2 wide receiver core just because I don't think they have enough weapons as the Giants. I'm going to say this quick and fast. The Giants have the best fantasy core of offensive, but I don't see them winning the division. I don't want people to mix this up with me saying the Giants are the best team in the division because they're not. But when it comes to fantasy-wise, Dallas has to play second fiddle to them when it comes to the wide receiver core because of the weapons they have. And Eli ain't no bum.
Are you saying that they have the best core in the entire league or just the NFC East?
NFC East. NFC East. If you want to know who I think has the best wide receiver core in the NFL, I say it all the time. The Colts is looking nasty this year. What they got on the field on that offensive side of the ball, wide receiver wise, with T.Y. Hilton, Andre Johnson, Moncrief, and then they drafted the boy Philip Dorsett, who really run the 40 in like 4.3. That's nasty. And they got two tight ends over there.
Yeah, but you got to factor in the fact some lack experience, some got too much experience. What I mean by that, we know Andre Johnson getting up there in age, and we know them rookies. You know, we gotta watch out for them rookies all the time. I don't think we're gonna ever see a rookie receiving class like we did last year. Mike Evans, Odell Beckham Jr., Sammy Watkins, those boys was all over 900,000 yards.
Let's not forget fantasy.
The boy from Carolina.
Benjamin. Let's not forget fantasy wise too. Them Robinson, Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson in Jacksonville, them boys was picked up.
Oh yeah. You have to tell me because I benefited from one.
Yeah. So I give you that. I just think in the NFC East right now, when you talking You can get some depth from the Giants. And since we're talking depth from the Giants, the running back position, which this may be for the first time in a long time, the NFC East may, and I say may because I got a couple other ideas about it, but it may be one of the times you question the running game in the NFC East, because as great as DeMarco was, do you think DeMarco does the same thing in Philly? Some say yes, some say no. The Giants got Shane Vereen. You guys did what you guys did. I'm almost safe to say I think Alfred Morris, and I'll start off, I think Alfred Morris is the best running back fantasy available in the NFC East.
So you're going with Alfred Morris. What do you have next?
Next, I mean, it's a flip of a coin. I mean, I will go next. I will have to go Marco, because if he is talented as he was, I mean, even Shady had a solid year, back-to-back years. He's just the touchdowns were down. So I will go there, and I will go. I feel bad. I don't know who to go last between Dallas and the Giants. Shane Vereen over in New York. I think.
They still have Rashad Jennings or Andre Wood.
Andre Wood, and I think New York is going to be so pass happy that I think you get, for fantasy value, you're going to get less at the running back spot in New York than Dallas. So I'm going to put Dallas and New York in last.
All right, let's break down the market. First of all, a lot of people ask me all the time. Coming out of Oklahoma, a lot of people didn't know about DeMarco. I actually watched because, I was infatuated with Adrian Peterson. I didn't even care about Oklahoma Sooner football, but Adrian Peterson was just a god of all. He was just that man. So, naturally, I just kept watching. And I actually seen DeMarco Murray play his last 2 years. And I was like, okay, this guy might have something. He wasn't that fast. At first, he wasn't that big. He still had huge damn hands. But I remember a play when he played in Oklahoma. He made a flip in the end zone. Like somebody turned him around, and a guy went to hit him low, and he flipped over him. It was just amazing. From that moment, I had this kind of a love affection thing with DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray's a good back. DeMarco Murray's a well put together back. I don't want to call him a great back, but I don't want to disrespect him. I think the offense that they had last year, it all went hand in hand. We know hands down that Dez Bryant is the best player on that offense. So naturally, Dez Bryant is going to open up lanes for everybody else. We also know that the Dallas Cowboys, all of a sudden now, I'm not even going to talk about this much, but all of a sudden now, the Dallas Cowboys have, quote-unquote, the best offensive line in the league. I love the offensive line, but let's tone it down a little bit because everybody knows that Tony Romo still got sacked 28 times last year. I'm not saying it's because of the offensive line, but at the end of the day, you can't just go from having a mediocre offensive line 1 year and then all of a sudden you have the best offensive line because your offense is flowing all of a sudden. If you get my point.
Yeah.
DeMarco Murray is 1,000 yards back. DeMarco Murray will never be what he was last year unless he returns back to Dallas, and I don't ever see that happen. With that being said, I can see DeMarco Murray being productive under two conditions. Sam Bradford has to be able to. He got to throw the ball.